Hello. I look like I'm being gobbled up by a big Buddha. Welcome back. I am in Spain on my own little solo retreat this week. Got a few nights here, and actually tomorrow I move on to the retreat space that I am hoping to host a retreat in September at. So that's super exciting, and doing a recce there, and yeah, very excited about getting a feel for the vibe and taking lots of footage and photos and stuff. I've been doing that while I'm here as well, because why not? It's a beautiful space. The weather's been kind of changing, but that's added some interest to it, being here by myself. Um, I've not done a lot. I went out for a 11-kilometer hike through the mountains and background along the coast yesterday on my own, which was I was quite pleased with myself really. I wouldn't normally have done that. And yeah, I've done lots of dozing and I've taken myself through my own meditations that I've recorded here on YouTube. So yeah, it's just been really lovely. I've eaten lots of healthy food. And I guess that's what I want to say. This is an update on, I think I'm actually coming up for week 5 tomorrow. So it's about 5.5 weeks that I've been taking Mounjaro for now. And so I'm settled into it. My second dose is going to be again the 2.5 milligrams, which is the lowest kind of starting dose. Apparently, they don't like you staying on it because it is just a starting dose. But I'm like, it's working for me, and I really don't want to go up to 5 milligrams if I don't have to. I just don't see the need. So yeah, I've got another 4 weeks on that. And actually, I'm changing providers because I was paying, I paid 99 for the first month, and then it is assumed you go up through the milligrams after that. And most providers increase the price with the increase of the dosage, whereas this one actually sticks it at 159 a month. So I thought it's probably a good deal if I'm going to go up. But now I want to stick at a lower dose for as long as I can, for as long as it still works for me. Actually doesn't make financial sense to stay here when I can get it for a lot cheaper elsewhere. So I've just cancelled that subscription, and when I get home, I'll find a new online provider to continue. But I've got another 3 jabs left when I get home, so it's all good for a few weeks. Um, so I just wanted to touch base with a bit of an update, really, because yeah, a few things now I'm settled into this kind of new way of being. Um, what I have noticed in myself is like this is the first trip away, and normally when I travel on my own, it's like my little free reign to get all the nice foods in and to see it as a treat and to probably go a little bit overboard, if I'm honest. So ordinarily, I would, a shop here would have been something like, well, I would have eaten out a lot. I wouldn't have cooked for myself. I would have absolutely made it my mission to go and have dinner out. So I actually like eating out on my own. I don't mind it at all. I would have probably, no doubt, had some sweets and some chocolates and loads of crisps, and that would have been like my main staples. And this time I just haven't done that. So I do have some chocolate in the fridge, but I've barely touched it. It's actually not that nice. So I'm like, meh. Whereas normally I would have persevered regardless. I did get some mint choc chip ice cream as well. And again, I kind of scraped off the top last night, and I've just had another go at it. But I'm leaving way more than half a tub. Whereas ordinarily I would have got through that in 2 settings, easy peasy. So they're the kind of naughty things, if you like, or nice things, let's say, because we don't demonize food around here, that I've got in with this shop. And then there's no alcohol in sight, so ordinarily I also would have had something just in case I fancied it, but didn't feel the need at all. I actually had a drink with my friend, stayed with her for 3 nights when I first got here. We went out for a drink on the first day and drank way more than I have done all year, really. And that was only three. We had 3 vermouths, so martinis on ice. And then we shared a bottle of Prosecco over dinner. And then we had a Bailey's coffee. And that's way more than I've drank in, or since way before Christmas, I think. So yeah, didn't feel the need to drink after that. And to be honest, I didn't really need to drink. It's only because we were out, it was sunny, it was kind of like the vibe, and I just wanted to test it. Felt okay the next day, but certainly don't need to repeat drinking anywhere near that much, if anything at all. Um, so yeah, back to the shop. I went to the Mercadona on the way in, and I kind of thought about it in my head. I had 3 nights here. That is from where I fell over on my walk yesterday on my hike. Um, I had 3 nights here, 2 whole days, and like a morning tomorrow before I check out. So I got half a dozen eggs for breakfast and some like high protein Greek yogurt with some blueberries and some strawberries. Also couldn't resist the pineapple that was kind of already sliced up and decored. It looked really good. So I got some of that. And I also got like a slice of watermelon. I haven't actually touched that, but the rest of it, I've been working my way through it. I've been having a nice little um, yogurt with berries in the morning, followed by my eggs. I got some ham and cheese, which I had as an omelette the first morning. I got what did I have this morning? I had some little cubed salmon. It's not even smoked salmon. I think it's just cubed raw salmon. Um, that I had on my scrambled eggs this morning with some mushrooms and some tomato. I've had tomato with every meal, which is really nice, tasty beef tomato. I had half a chicken, half a roast chicken last night. It was like pre-packed roast chicken that you kind of heat up for 20 minutes in the oven. So I guess it's part cooked. I had that with a big salad. So it was kind of like a chicken Caesar salad. I got some Caesar dressing as a little like nice to have. I had some prawns for lunch on a salad, like a prawn cocktail. It's my favorite go-to at the moment. And I had the same for dinner, just because it was tasty. So I did treat myself again to some like Mary Rose sauce, just like why not? Um, and what else do I have? So that's what I've had today, with a little bit of ice cream to finish it off. So I'm looking at around 2,200 calories to be in a 1,000 calorie deficit. So I'm hitting that quite easily. Certainly last night with my roast chicken, didn't realize it was about 900 calories for half a chicken, probably less than that without the skin, but still quite a lot in there. So definitely didn't need that much anyway. But yeah, no bread. Um, very little chocolate. I think I've had 6 squares out of this chocolate bar that I got, and kind of regret getting it because it's like a fiver. Um, and otherwise, I would say I hear people talking about suppression, and I don't feel like I have a suppressed appetite at all. I just don't think about food like I used to. Like it was incessant before. Like it was like it wouldn't go away. I'd eat and I'd be thinking about what I'm eating next and when I can eat next and what I can eat next. Um, I would constantly be distracted by food. I wouldn't be able to relax. And here I've really prioritized reconnecting to myself, just getting out of my head, reconnecting, being in my journal. I've taken myself through my own meditation that I recorded for YouTube. I'll try and remember to link to that um, in this episode. So yeah, I've obviously went out for a lot, did a lot of steps yesterday. I did about 18,000 steps yesterday. I did go to the gym today as I got a free pass through my Airbnb host, and it was shut because it was siesta time. And by the time it reopened at 6 o'clock, we had the most epic storms that were incoming from the mountains. So I was like, yeah, I'm not going out in this. So I haven't exercised today, but I actually feel like I needed to relax. So I did take a drive out in the car this morning, and I walked along the seafront, got coffee on the beach. So I've done 7,000 steps today. Mm, that's a creak I haven't heard before. Um, So yeah, that's how I'm getting on. I feel good. I did notice last week after my jab, for like at 12 hours after my jab, I woke up. So I jabbed at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and I woke up at 2 o'clock in the morning, and I felt a little bit of nausea, and that persisted in the morning. So I kind of had to force some breakfast down me, and I would say it went on for about 24 hours. That was Wednesday, so I can't remember what I was doing, but I kind of persevered, like just forced myself to eat something, and actually I felt better after the lunchtime. So yeah, no, I'll kind of keep an eye out for that this week because I didn't notice it in week 2 and 3. I did notice it for sure after the first week. So yeah, that suppression's not there. It's just I don't think about food. So I think it's again that food noise is the main benefit for me of being on this, because it's allowing me to do all the things that I know um, I need to do to be doing this healthily. So prioritizing protein on my plate. So thinking like getting the prawns, getting the eggs, getting the salmon, getting the chicken on that plate first and foremost, and then building out the meal around that. So the next priority is fiber. So am I getting my fibrous veggies and fruits in there? Am I going to keep regular that way? And then the next thing is my water intake. So always carrying a bottle of water. I have actually been adding in an electrolyte. So I have a litre and a half bottle of water in the fridge here. I fill this up, which is half a litre, and then I add my electrolytes to the litre that's left. So I know I'm getting at least a litre and a half, if not way more than that. Um, and I'm trying to get way more than that, but at least I know I've done that much. Um, then I'm getting my movement in, my steps at least, and also adding in some strength training because I really want to prioritize building muscle rather than losing it, which can happen very easily when you lose weight. So I've added in, since I last did an update, I've added in, so I was doing my shuffle class, which is more high intensity interval training with some weights in it from time to time. So we might do some thrusters with dumbbells, or we might do a deadlift with a bar. Um, and there's some other things that we do, like overhead lunges and stuff like that with a plate. So there are weights in there, and obviously it's all body weight training. So it's air squats, it's press up, it's like I'm still getting a strength training in there. But I wanted to really add some specific strength training in. So I've gone back to a body pump class. I used to do this 20 years ago, hasn't changed much. So I found myself, sinking into it very easily. Um, I have been doing that 2 times a week, but that's only for 2 weeks. So I think I did it the end of one week, and then I've done it for 2 weeks, and then obviously I'm away this week. So I will get back into that, and I'm thinking about joining the local gym so that I get to book in advance. Because at the moment, where I'm not a member, I just have to wait for people to cancel in the sold out classes, which they inevitably do, but it's kind of frustrating. You can't plan your day around it. And then I've also added in a little bonus combat class as well. So one combat class a week, an express one. So it's like 45 minutes. There's another kind of high intensity interval training, but it's kind of using different muscles because it's punching and it's kicking. I'm just noticing with the increased weight load and sort of bouncing up and down that my knees are really feeling it. So I'm just, it's that toss up between doing the extra activity, which you know is going to be good for your knees in the long run, but actually suffering a little bit with your knees because you are doing that extra intensity training. So, but for now, I think it's working for me. And another thing that I'm noticing is before I had so much resistance to go into the gym, even though I know I love it when I get there, and that resistance is just not there. It's like, okay, when am I going to factor in some training this week? I look at the classes that are on, I put it in my diary. I change colour when I've actually been able to book it. I pay because I'm paying for it as I go. And then it's not even a question whether or not I go. It's just I get up and I go. And I'm really loving getting up for some earlier dog walks, going a little bit further. So minimum kind of 5K up to about 7K. So I'm sometimes doing like around 5 miles, 4 to 5 miles, which feels good. Normally it would be like 3 to 5K if I'm pushing it. And so I've definitely upped my distance with the dog. and then I'm getting home, and then I'm going out and doing a class, and then I'm coming back, I'm having my breakfast, I'm getting showered, and I'm starting my day. So my day is starting sort of late morning, lunchtime, really. But it's really working for me. I've kind of always intermittent fasted to an extent because I don't get that hungry in the morning. And I'm feeling like it's quite good to do it when I get back from my exercise. And the other thing I'm doing is because I've really noticed in week one, where I'd taken the kind of food out, I was picking up my phone and scrolling like incessantly. And I was like, wow, I've just replaced food with my phone. So I've implemented some better habits around my phone. So my phone doesn't go on charge next to my bed anymore. It never used to. I just sort of slipped into some bad habits. So I leave it downstairs on charge on the sofa, not even at my desk. And I have this Opal app, which just restricts my social media apps until 12 o'clock midday. So my aim now is to not even look at my phone. I might look at messages, WhatsApp, um, the Voxer, and some emails. I might look at it before I go out. But generally, the idea is I do my exercise, my walking, my classes before I even look at my phone. And it's just been like a godsend. Um, I can't post on it without breaking the block on it before 12 o'clock anyway. So it's kind of working. Um, so yeah, that's a bit of an update. And then I just wanted to also cover off some of the things I'm noticing in the groups that I've been in. So I joined through the provider that I was with. I joined two groups. One only just accepted me today, I think. So I'm not even going to get into it. But you've got a lot of very well-intentioned people who are on this medication, who are wanting support, who are anonymously posting because there's obviously some shame around the questions that they're asking. And what I'm noticing in these groups with thousands of people, like I think the one that I've been actively looking at has got about 5,000 people in it. And there is this tendency to be absolutely obsessed with the number on the scales. And you might have noticed I haven't even mentioned it. I haven't even thought to mention my weight loss today, right? And I will get onto it, but I have a reluctance to as well because this isn't my main focus, right? My main focus is implementing all these healthy habits that I know and have known through all the training that I've done, through doing the first year of a nutritional therapist degree, through doing the whole eating psychology, mind body nutrition kind of journey, through doing all the things like working with a health coach um, for years in 2015, and then also more recently with Liz Sargent, who's been on the podcast, to like really go into gut health and really unpick some of the symptoms that I was having there and improve that situation. So I know what I need to do, and actually, my reasons for doing this, the jabbing side of things, is not that it's a magic pill, but that it's a tool. And I think that's what I'm really feeling is it is a tool to enable me to do all the things that I wanted to do that I haven't been able to do because of the habit that I've been carried around since I was a very young girl, from just this well-trodden path that I've been on around food and as a coping mechanism, as an emotional crutch. It's lifted that kind of reliance on food so that I can actually focus on doing what I want to do. So it's a tool for me, it's not a magic pill. And what I see in these groups is that they expect to jab themselves and just lose weight. I don't know whether they think it's going to be like this magic solution. And there's a lot of talk around suppression. So panic that then they're not feeling suppression on certain doses and wanting to go up in strength very quickly. So I see people go from 2.5 to 5 to 7.5 to 10 in that 4 week, 12 week, no, 4, 8, 12, 16 week period, because it's 4 weeks per dose. Um, and yet there is an element in this of mindset, right? Mind over matter, not so much of willpower, but of not giving away your power to this drug, this pharmaceutical. And I see that's what people are doing. They are giving their power away. And when the drug doesn't have the effect that they expect it to because of what they've seen and read and heard about, they're panicking and they're putting it down to the drug's fault. But actually, are you drinking enough water? Are you moving more than you did before? Are you prioritizing protein, which is going to help you feel fuller for longer? It's going to help ensure that you don't lose muscle and all these things. Are you eating fiber? So there's a lot of this talk that I'm really finding like I'm biting my tongue a lot because what I want to go in and give is some unsolicited advice around this, but I'm not going to because it's not my job. And it's certainly not necessary for me to be the one to step up in that situation and judge anyone or make them feel ashamed, any more ashamed than they already do, right, by being there. But what I'm seeing is, so yeah, a lot of reliance on the drug to suppress their appetite, because then hopefully they won't eat as much as they did before, right? And then hopefully they will lose weight as a byproduct of that. But I don't think that is really the essence of what we're trying to do here. The other thing I see is a lot of symptoms. Now, everyone, there is so much variance in how people respond to this from the site in which you jab. So some people claim more suppression if they do in their stomach versus their thigh or the back of their arms. Other people say that they have to do it on the back of their arms because they get no suppression or they get too many side effects if they do it in their belly. It's like there is no one size fits all here. It is so down to individual makeup, right? But the other thing I'm not sure about is a lot of the symptoms that you hear about. So the diarrhea, the sulfur burps, the um, indigestion, the nausea, um, they're the kind of main ones. Like they also vary greatly. And I still think a lot of it is down to what you continue, like the habits that you continue to have. So a lot of people report having diarrhea, for example, or actually being physically sick if they've eaten something greasy, something like really fatty. Like, I don't know, let's just take McDonald's, for example. I've actually seen people going in there and saying, if you're having McDonald's, what are you choosing? And people would say, oh, I'll have the chicken select, or I'll have the chicken salad, or the chicken wrap, or something like that. So these people are actually still going to McDonald's and just wanting to make healthier choices when they're at McDonald's rather than, implementing healthier options throughout their day. So again, no judgment, but if you are expecting to continue the same habits as you have before and expecting this drug to be the magic cure, then you really are going to be disappointed. So I have very little patience and time for those people that are complaining about the drug's efficacy when they're continuing those bad habits. And either due to suppression or the fact that they're not equipped enough, educated enough to know what to do differently. So that's been really interesting. I think they're the two things. It's like the lack of education around what this drug actually does, um, and what they're expecting it to do, and the lack of changing any habits, like dr dramatically changing habits, right? Because if you're overweight in the first place, like I am, then you've had to have overeaten many, many calories over many, many months, years to add that much fat to your body. It's just a fact. Yes, there are people who take a medication and it bloats them, it makes them put on weight and gain weight that way. But they are fewer and far between. Yes, there are people who are genetically predisposed to being in a larger body and they maybe don't eat what you would deem an unhealthy diet. And again, they are few and far between. So the majority of people have overeaten for an extended period of time to get the body that they've got today, myself included. and I make no secret of that. But for lasting, sustainable weight loss that we're all after, you've got to make lasting, sustainable habit change. Because what I'm hearing also is the reason people gain the weight when they come off this drug is because they go back to their old habits. And I don't want to do this and spend however much money on it for however long I'm going to do it to help me as a tool to shift the weight that I have been carrying around with me for 20 years plus. I don't want to do that just to gain it again. So you'll bet your bottom dollar I'm going to use this time to implement those healthy, sustainable habits in the hope that I can one day come off this drug and not be reliant on it to be able to stick to those. And I believe, again, a mindset thing that I have is if I do this for long enough and I'm really consciously making these habit changes a big part of um, just my way of life now, then it will, of course, inevitably be just the way of life when I come off the drugs, and therefore it should be sustainable. Because it's not the drugs that's making me lose weight, it is all the effort that I'm putting in to think about what's going in my mouth, to prioritize the right things, to think about what's in my fridge, to go to the gym and do extra on top of what I was doing, to think about ways that I can build muscle, to do extra movement just throughout the day, whether it's housework or gardening or walking a dog further. Like all those things are going to add up and stack up to healthier habits. And as I lose the weight, hopefully, I will be more inclined to do more of that because I will also be moving through this life a little bit easier than I am right now with all this excess weight, right? So yes, I have lost, as at my week 4 weigh-in, I had lost about half a pound shy of a stone. So 13 pounds and 6 ounces or whatever it is. Um, and I have no idea how this being away out of my routine, having alcohol on Saturday, having a bit of ice cream and chocolate while I'm here, having some bravas, for example, at the weekend, how that's affected me. And I'm not actually that bothered because I am away. I'm on holiday. It's my first time being away on holiday since starting this. And I'm really happy with the difference from any other time that I would have traveled, especially being on my own. So I'm taking that as a win. Whether or not the scales like show that is another thing. And I'm really, it's not going to impact me if I've gained, stayed the same, or lost when I come home and weigh in. So the other thing to say is it was really easy to travel with it actually. So it's a liquid pen, it's liquid in a pen, and you have to take the little needles that you screw on and then you discard of them. And it was really easy to travel. You just get these little cases where you put these little ice packs in there, so it just keeps it cooler for a bit longer. But it can be out of the fridge as long as you largely store it in the fridge. It's fine. So I have week 5 jab tomorrow. So um, yeah, I will give you an update when I think about it. But hopefully that's given a really all-rounded account of where I'm at. And yeah, I continue to be really happy with it actually, um, in terms of what it's done for me with around the food noise. Like that has continued. I do notice a little bit of slippage when you get to the end of the week, for example, or something particularly emotional happens. I've had a couple of emotional triggers where, it's really tested me because normally I would have gone to the fridge and here I am having to sit with those emotional triggers and just really process it. So I'm also practicing what I preach there. And so far, so good. So touch wood. I hope that's been useful. If you've got any questions you want to ask, I'm no expert, but I certainly feel like I am well researched, well educated around it, and you know, I'm I'm living and breathing it right now. So my inbox is open if you want to give me a shout. All right. Until next time, take care.